afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Small Town Baker. Today we are definitely doing sweet and savory. Sweet. Sorry, sweet. Last time it was savory. It's sweet today. So first things first. First of all, I apologize for the lag in my videos, but we've been busy. It's been a crazy time. So my first things first. Gotta wash my hands because we gotta keep that corona out of the kitchen. Okay, so the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. And with I don't know the words, and I can finish it with happy birthday to me. There we go. And I did do a thorough clean of the kitchen before we started this process. And we are ready to begin. So, again, I'm not sure if I said my name. It's Colleen, but you can call me Small Town Baker. We are going to make my favorite shortbreads today. I know it's not Christmas, but it feels like it's a good idea to do. And plus, there's a few people in quarantine that I know who would love a little delivery of my shortbread cookies. And you know who you are. So this recipe is really simple. We start with a full pound of butter. Real butter. We like real butter. Okay? I'm going to stick that in there. I could use my mixer, but I decided I think I'm going to do it by hand because I need the exercise. Now, let's just say we want the butter softened so that we can mix it easy. It's a little bit hard, but this is good exercise. Okay, so we've got the butter softened. These cookies, 3 simple ingredients: butter, sugar, flour. So we're going to take a cup of white sugar, just like that, pour it in there, and we're going to mix until it's combined. So nicely creamed together, butter and sugar. It was good arm exercises. We need this when we're all cooped up for COVID-19. And we're going to add 3.5 cups of flour. Very simple. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, I'm not exact at anything. You kind of get a feel. Once you've baked as long as I've baked, you kind of get a feel for what you need to do. And sometimes I might even add a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and combine this now, but the key here is we only mix until combined. You never want to over mix when you're working with shortbreads because you want them to be nice and buttery and crispy when you eat them. Well, I don't know if that's the right word, but okay. So after quite a bit of mixing, I ended up using a pastry thingy. I forget what these are called, but just to kind of cut the butter into the flour and the sugar. And as you can see, it looks a little kind of like sand or something like that. So I'm not going to mix it anymore because what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to use my hands to form 2 balls of this dough. And it'll form quite quickly. But guess what? I'm going to wash my hands again. Just to be sure, you know. Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. And happy birthday to me. Okay. Turn that off. I'm going to give my hands another little wipe and rinse because you don't want the since I'm using my hands, you don't want the dough to kind of taste soapy, so you got to get all the soap off. But we know that we need it to wash with soap to make sure the hands are clean. Okay, so I'm going to dig in there. This is going to be, come on in, come look right in, and you can, it's kind of fun to do. Like you see, once you kind of just start, see how it's starting to form into like a dough ball? That's what we want, okay? But again, we only want to work it to combine it. We don't want to overwork it because then the cookies end up being tough, hard. Okay, so see how that's kind of forming a nice little bit of dough? So I think I'm almost done. You can see how it's not as sandy and it's just more combined. Okay, so as you can see, I've formed 2 balls. And I'm just gonna kind of make them a little bit smoother as I move them on my head, in my hand, sorry. So crazy. Oh, by the way, when I was washing my hands, I was singing the Barrett's Privateers, because have you seen that video going around on the internet with all those great Atlantic Canadian artists? Not all Atlantic Canadian, because Johnny Reid was in it. Love him. Anyways, it's great. So you search it on the internet. It was great. It's showing how you can wash your hands to a verse of Barrett's Privateers. Anyways, and lots of great Canadian artists got on board with it. Okay, so as you can see, I floured the very clean counter, put a little flour on top of my ball of dough. I'm going to grab my, what I should have done, I should have put a little flour out like this. I'm going to flour my rolling pin, and I'm going to roll the dough to about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit thicker. Sometimes as you can see, I'll gather it to kind of keep the cracks at a minimum, and then I'm going to roll again. Oh no, I have an itchy nose. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, okay, whew, better wash my hands again. That was crazy. It kind of came out all of a sudden. It normally doesn't happen to me. Sorry about that, people. Okay. I'm not sure. My editor might have to edit that part out. We're not sure. What do you think, editor? Okay. So I do like them a little bit thick because I'm using my favorite cutter. It's nice, just round, simple, small. And it's a great size because once they're cut out and cooked, they just look so lovely, especially when they're decorated on a plate. But I put some parchment on my cookie sheet, and I'm going to put my cookie sheet in there, and I'm going to just cut out a whole bunch of circles. This is kind of the perfect thickness. Can you see that? And so while I do this, why don't you guys go get a snack, and I'll be right back with you. So as you can see, I'm filling up my tray fairly good here. You can see there's a few scraps here that I'm not going to use. I will use them, but I'm going to put them aside and not put them back in the bowl because I'm going to use the scraps for the next ball as well, and they're not getting doubly worked. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Okay, and I'm just going to roll out the second roll of dough. Okay, so I finished laying out the cookies on this one tray. Now here's a little tip, a small town baker personal tip. I freeze these cookies for about an hour or so to get them nice and cold before I bake them. It helps them keep their shape better. So I'm gonna just scoot down here, disregard my freezer, it's a bit of a mess. I'm gonna just put that in there and I'll straighten them out later. I'm gonna close my freezer. And that's why I haven't put the oven on to preheat yet, because I'm going to let the dough chill. So I'm going to do my second tray now. And when we do cook them, we're actually going to cook them low and slow. That's the key. So we're only going to cook them at 275, but for about 40 to 45 minutes, depending on how they look. They should get a little bit of a golden brown color. And anyway, so we're gonna just continue cutting out the rest, the second dough ball. And so just the final of rolling out, these are the scraps from the two balls of dough I had. So as you can see, this means I'm only kind of reworking them one more time. And we're gonna form a little dough and roll this out and put them on the sheet. So they're both all cut out and chilling on the cookie sheets. They made 2 full cookie sheets. I'm gonna let those chill in the freezer for a good hour. So maybe in about 45 minutes, I'm gonna turn the oven on to 275, get that preheated, and then I'll cook my first sheet of cookies. All right, over and out.
1 hour later.
Okay, so it's been about an hour, and we're gonna take out our first tray of cookies, and I preheated the oven to 275. I am just going to do a little fix up because you want to make them to make sure that they're not too close together because they do expand a little bit. So we're just going to put them neatly on the pan, separate it quickly. I did wash my hands, of course, before I did this yet again. And we're good to go. So we're going to put those in the oven. I'm going to set the timer to 40 minutes, but that's just to check on them to see how they're doing, a nice golden brown. And we're going to get started on the icing. Okay, so we're just going to make a little bit of nice simple white icing as a little decorative flair to the cookies. So we just put some butter, again measuring, don't need to measure, little vanilla, add to the flavor, and then we're going to mix up. We might need to add a little bit of milk, which I forgot to take out of the fridge, so I'm just going to go and do that now. So just a tiny bit of milk, and then we just get that to the consistency we want, and we'll put that aside until the cookies are cooled and ready to decorate. Okay, so this looks like a pretty good consistency. I might just add a little touch more icing or icing sugar. It looks like we're gonna have a little too much icing, but we could always put it in the freezer and save it for, because the other thing I don't like to do is ice all the cookies at once, because the icing does get hard. So it's almost like it's nicer to ice them as you need them. Keeps it nice and soft. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my icing over to my piping bag. So as you can see, I stuck a rose tip icing decorator into the bottom of my piping bag. I'm gonna cut the tip like this, nice and tight. So because I wanna make sure none of the plastic gets around the tip, otherwise it doesn't look as nice. Okay, so nice and deep. So, and then if I place this into a bottom of a glass and just put the icing bag over that, it makes it much easier to fill the icing right down to the tip, because you want it right down in the tip. So I'm just going to, actually see if I can do it a little bit more. Now let's go. And I'm gonna take a good blob, and I'm gonna stick it down. I might use my spoon to get it as far down as I can. And like I said, we don't need a whole lot because we're only gonna decorate a few cookies, just to kind of show you how I do it. And then we can save the rest of that icing, put it in some saran wrap, and stick it in the fridge or freezer and save for as we need it. So we're just gonna scoop that right down to the bottom. We can actually do a little tester on the old bag of icing sugar just to see how that comes out, and it's perfect. So once the cookies are cooled and ready, we'll show you how to decorate. Well, there, my buzzer just went off. I'm just gonna have a look. They do look golden brown, so I think it's time to take them out. So in the end, these actually took 45 minutes at 275. But like I said, every oven is different. So I'm just gonna grab the other cookies, just like so. And we'll just this is a bit of a bigger pan. So I'm just gonna straighten these out. They all kind of went together a little bit when they were getting chilled in the freezer. Oh, the smell is just, I wish I could send the smell over the computer, because it smells just delicious. So we're gonna put those in the oven. We're gonna set the timer again. I'm still gonna keep it at 40 because I find you just never know. So we're gonna set that to 40. We're gonna put these onto a cooling rack, let them cool down, and then we'll be ready to ice. Okay, so here I am just finishing the decorating. So I'm taking my piping bag with my rosebud tip and just putting a little dab in the middle of each cookie, just like so. And like I said, we don't want to do too many because the icing does tend to get hard if it's left on for very long. So then I'm just going to put them up on my little display, my plate, just like so. And we're going to take the little old silver decorating balls, edible of course. You just get those at the bulk barn at any time. I always like the looks of them. I find them very, very nice and pretty. So there we are, shortbread cookies by the Small Town Baker. And here we are, shortbread cookies by the Small Town Baker for your eating pleasure. Enjoy. So tune in next time. See if Small Town Baker goes savory or sweet. Small Town Baker out.